Yeah, okay, now we've got a live interview, and hopefully at the other end we have Lee from Choose 80s. You there, Lee?
Hello, both. How are you?
We're fine, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, we're hot in here in the studio, but yeah.
It's lovely weather. We can't complain.
No. So, Neighbours, we know, is recently finished filming after 37 years. What do you think about that decision?
It's such a sad time. Neighbours was such a major part of my teenage years.
Yeah.
Growing up, when Neighbours first came on, it was an instant hit. And it was something that we all rushed home from school and we waited till 5:35 when it came on.
Yeah.
And of course, if you were unwell and you had a day off school, you also had a chance to see it at lunchtime.
Yes, because it was on twice, wasn't it? Yeah.
I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing programme, and it's so sad that it's come to an end.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, it started in the 80s. Launched some big stars. What memories of the show?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, first of all, there were huge characters that came in. Really lovable characters. People like Mrs. Mangle. Des and Daphne, Harold and Madge Bishop, who can forget them?
Oh, yeah.
Plain Jane. There's some great storylines and everything, but it was also board for launching so many major stars. Obviously, Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue were the biggest stars to come out of that. I remember when Kylie as Charlene first went onto the programme. She came, I think it was going through a window when she was trying to break into one of the houses because she couldn't get in. And then everyone thought it was a boy, then she took her cap off and out came all this flowing hair. And it was Kylie Minogue, as we all know her now. And of course she was propelled to stardom after that. The rest, they say, is history.
Charlene! What on earth do you think you're doing?
I was trying to get in and he jumped me.
I was only out the back. Are you all right, Scott?
Yeah, terrific, thanks.
Sorry, Scott. You never did keep your guard up properly.
I just didn't recognise who you were, that's all.
Bet you would have had second thoughts if you had.
No need to boast about it. Your father ought to be ashamed of himself teaching a girl to box.
Well, Henry wasn't interested. Aren't you pleased to see me?
Of course I am.
But, it wasn't just Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue. There were also other people that made had good success after Neighbours. People like Craig McLaughlin, Guy Pearce. Natalie Imbruglia, she had, I think it was number one hit, Torn. It was number one or number two. Stephen Dennis had a pop career.
It did.
Real springboards for long-lasting careers.
So I know it was made on Australia. So why do you think it was popular in the UK?
I think it was a lot more popular in the UK than it was in Australia, which is strange. But I think it was such. Who didn't want to live on Ramsay Street? It had so many good characters, and it was full of sunshine. And maybe they're used to that in Australia, but over here in the UK, we're not used to it. And today it's very unusual for us for this.
Yes,
really
I think
hot weather, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think they relied on Channel 5, or whoever's broadcasting it in this country, to keep it going, didn't they? Because it was so popular.
No, that's right. Because the popularity was so huge over here.
Yeah.
I think with the wedding between Scott and Charlene, that was a huge success. I think it was 20 million people in the UK tuned in, whereas in Australia there were only 2 million.
Wow, that's a big difference.
I think that shows the difference in the popularity. So, good on the UK for keeping it going and investing in it over the years. But I think the decision they've made now is that they want to invest in UK programmes more. So that's why they've pulled the plug. But it's really sad times when you've got so many good memories of it.
Do you think it will come? Do you think it will come back in the future? And how would it look?
Well, that's it. You never know, do you? Stranger things have happened. And you've got people, it's finished with Jason Donovan's daughter actually in it, didn't it? There was Gemma Donovan played Harlow. So as the generations went on, there were still lots of people loving it. And it may be that it comes back as all the pop groups do. Obviously, you get some pop groups that disband and then they come back after a gap. So that would be nice to think Neighbours might come back in the future.
So, you guys love the 80s. Well, I love the 80s. Why do you think the 80s was so special?
Well, my Choose 80s partner, Sue Archer, and I, we've been journalists for years, but we've always loved the 80s because of it was in our teenage years, of course, but also because it was a decade like no other. There were so many different types of music, so many different genres, from reggae to pop to ska.
Well, the music was fantastic.
It went on and on and on.
Have you got a favourite song?
Sorry?
Have you got a favourite song?
A favourite song?
Yeah.
Wow. That's difficult. It might have to be Rio by Duran Duran.
Oh yeah.
I've got so many. It was an amazing decade, not only for music but also for culture, and we loved the fashion of the 80s, even though a lot of people don't. We loved it. The toys of the 80s. It just had a really sunny vibe about it, really colourful. It was a time of invention. That's why when you look at the pop charts from those years, there were so many different types.
I can name, particularly the early 80s, you can name every top 30.
Yeah, exactly. You pick out a song, and any song, you think, well, that could have been number one. Well, that could have been number one.
So what do you do at Choose 80s?
So Sue and I, we've got our own channels, Choose 80s channels. So we have a YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And on these channels, we review 80s concerts and festivals, but we also interview 80s artists.
Okay.
So we either interview them over Zoom, or we interview them in person, if we're going to festivals or different concerts. And it's just amazing to be able to speak to the people that we loved and watched on Top of the Pops, to be able to actually speak to them and ask them the questions we always wanted to ask. It's just amazing. So we write reviews, we write interviews that get published also in other magazines and newspapers and online magazines and websites. So we do a whole lot of different things, and most importantly, it's great fun.
Good. That's fantastic. So how could they find out more? Thank you for talking as well. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. To find out more, if you look for Choose 80s on YouTube, you'll see lots of our interviews on there, with people like Tony Hadley, Paul Young, the Four Tops from the Jam, Carol Decker from Kapow, Johnny Hates Jazz. There's lots and lots of all different types of music, so hopefully you'll find something you like on there. And there's also Choose 80s platforms on Facebook, on Twitter and on Instagram. So if you have a look for them, I'm sure you'll find us on there somewhere.
Well, Lou, thank you very much for spending your afternoon to speak to us here on Surrey Hills Radio. Very interesting, that.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to you,
Thank
guys.
you.